The 17-year-old boy shoots himself in the forehead trying to wake up from a nightmare. And the reason why a 17-year-old boy would be putting a gun to his head trying to wake up from a nightmare and blowing his brains out is because he was tripping on shrooms. Him and his boys were over. They were, they were doing some shrooms. And his boys left. He fell asleep. And when he woke up from this bad dream, he didn't think that he woke up from the bad dream because he was hallucinating from the shrooms. So he goes into his parents' room, he gets the 22, and he puts it to his forehead, and he pulls the trigger. But here's where the story gets interesting, because when he didn't kill himself, and he realizes because he didn't wake up, it's because he shot himself, he cleans up the carpet, his parents' carpet. If you ever tried to get fluid out of a carpet, you know that it's hard as hell to get fluid out of a carpet. You press, and you press, and you press, and it's extremely hard to get fluids out of a carpet. So he cleans up the carpet, and then he bandages himself up. Then he walks out. He walks on his own 2 feet. He walks out the house, and he goes to a neighbor, and he gets his neighbor to, take him to the hospital. Then when he's at the hospital, he coherently explains this entire ordeal to the police. So I'm wondering, like, what the hell was he on? Some Super Mario mushrooms? Because normal people don't put a gun to their forehead and blow their brains out and still live, let alone function to the point where you can clean up, bandage yourself, walk out the house, go get some help, go to get to the police and explain exactly from the start point to the end point what happened coherently. That don't happen to regular people. So he must have been on those Super Mario Brothers shrooms where he just derp, 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 and he got bigger, and when Bullet Bill hit him in the head, he just got a little smaller, but he was, he still can go. He was just a little bit weaker, but he still can go. But got the link to the article in the description, and you can read all about this guy who decided to, blow his motherfucking brains out. But that's why I personally don't do any sort of drug, no cigarette, no weed, no nothing that people get high off and for recess or whatever you want to call it, for fun purposes. I don't even like to take drugs that, from the doctors and all that stuff. I don't like to take Advil and stuff. When I'm taking that stuff, I'm like, man, people can die from this stuff. It'd have to be heavy dosage if you're talking about Advil or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying. So that I really don't do the drug thing or the alcohol thing for that matter because of this very reason. This was a fully functioning guy, regular old 17-year-old, like all the rest of the 17-year-olds, like all of us who are older than 17 now were when they were 17 years old, just having fun, having a good time with his boys, and almost nearly that close from blowing his life away, blowing his brains out, ending his life right there. So I don't know. I don't get the whole how people get caught up into the drugs thing that much. Because there's stories like this almost every day about how somebody was on drugs or, on alcohol when they made a poor decision that resulted in either death or just your body doesn't function properly anymore afterwards. So anybody out there watching this video, don't do drugs. And if you do drugs, don't shoot yourself after you do them. That's all I got to say.